Good morning, students. Today we are going to look about the poem My Mother at 66, written by Indian poetess Kamala Das. So before we go into the poem, we'll just see about her. Okay, we'll know about the poetess. Okay, so let's go into it. So she was born in Malabar. She was born in Malabar, that is Indian place. This is one place name and state name is Kerala. And she spent her childhood in Calcutta, present then we call Kolkata. Okay, and usually she wrote in both the languages, English and Malayalam. And whenever she was writing her work in Malayalam, she gave and she wrote it under her pet name, that is Madhavikuti. And the work which she wrote in Malayalam, in that work she wrote her name and she signed as Madhavi Kuti. And Kamala Das, she is a well-known poetess. Okay, and her pen name, as I told you already, Madhavi Kuti, and even some of them they call her Kamala Surya. And she is an author and well known for her confessional poetry. And usually she was talking about the married women and the status of women and whatever the struggle which they faced in their married life. Usually she was focusing on those topics, and because of that she is well known, and some people they consider and they call us even as a sex poetess. So usually when we see she is well known for her writing style and autobiographical work, and as I told, confessional style. Her way of writing is confessional, means whatever she was facing in her daily life she was confessing in her poems. And through this she was fighting for female identity. Okay, she was fighting for female identity and human relation, especially about the relation of married women in patriarchal society, how they were facing those problems. And whatever problem even she was facing, she used to express in her poem all her feelings, emotions, and whatever struggles, hardship which she faced. So that's all about her, Kamala Das. So now directly we'll go into the poem and we'll see in detail. Okay. So usually we see this My Mother at 66. The title itself says that the mother of poetess, that is Kamala Das, her age is 66. And in this poem she is talking about her, how she is aging, how she looks, and what is her appearance. So usually she is talking about her appearance, and as a result she is feeling sad. The childhood fear of Kamala Das comes back when she is seeing her mother getting old and by looking her pale face. So first line we see here, driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Doge open mouth, Doge open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized the pain. So in these lines, okay, she's trying to speak about her mother, that when the poetess is driving towards the Cochin airport, that is in Kerala, she is taking her mother to the airport, who is sitting beside her. Whenever she was seeing her mother, she was looking as old as she could, and she was dozing by opening her mouth. So as a result, by seeing her, even she was getting afraid, she was feeling unhappy, because when she saw her mother, her childhood fear came to her, and she thought and she was afraid to lose her mother. And see, here it is, her mother, she was looking that much old that even she was looking like corpse. Means what? Corpse means dead body. Okay, so her mother, she was looking like dead body. She was that much old. She was looking that much old, and her face was looking pale, and even her skins were getting wrinkled. And when she saw her mother in that state, okay, the pain of her The childhood pain came back to her. Usually whenever we have our mother in our childhood days, always we are fond of it. Okay, we are fond of our mother. We don't want to lose them. If in our home, if mother is not there, always we go and we search for her. Same way, this Kamala Das also now that fear is coming back to her, because if we don't find our mother, we feel afraid, we don't feel good. Same way now she is getting that same feeling when she is looking her mother's pale face. Okay, and the childhood fear that came back to her mind, and she is totally afraid that she was as old as she looked, but soon but that thought away, and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. So as when poetry was looking at her mother's pale face, she was getting sad, she was disappointed, and even she was disgusted. So in order to remove that thought from her mother, from her mind, she started to look outside, and when she was looking outside, she saw that these sprinting trees, merry making children, they were playing, and trees they were sprinting, means as they were driving and going towards the airport, this car moving ahead, and the trees, it was seeing as if it was going back, and these young children they were playing. So here the poet is mentioning and talking about young children and try to give the internal meaning that once upon a time even her mother was a child, but now the time has come when she has become old, she is getting older, and even her face is looking pale, her skins are getting wrinkled. So through this sprinting trees and merry-making children, the poetess is trying to convey about her mother's childhood, okay, and her young age. After the airports, security check standing a few years. Okay, so when they reached the airport, security checking was done. As we know that whenever we go by a flight, usually we have security checking, and when they check what kind of things we are taking, and some unwanted thing if we take, they don't allow, they forbid us to take it. So same way this checking was done, and this poetess, she was looking at her mother, and again that painful thought, it was emerging, it was coming in her mind of her mother's old age. Okay, so let's see next one. I look again at her when pale as late winter's moon, and felt that tall familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. And I did was smile and smile and smile. So after checking, when the checking was done by the security, this poetess told her mother that see you Amma again. Even though her mother was looking too old, her face was pale, she was upset. She was upset to see her mother in that particular state, in that particular place, at that circumstances, means being look old, pale and wrinkled. So her childhood fear came to her, but what to do, that is the reality, have to face. So despite of that, she made strong her mindset, and she told her mother that see you Amma again, and she smiled, and smile, and with this we conclude this poem. So overall structure, when we see, when we look about this poem, is that the poet is talking about her mother's old age, how she is getting older, how her face is getting wrinkled, her face is looking pale, and even her face is looking pale like a corpse, means dead body. Okay, so she is looking that much old. So as a result, when this poetess is seeing her mother, she is getting fear. Her childhood fear is coming back towards her, and she is afraid to lose her mother, to lose her beloved. Okay, then finally when she wanted to remove that thought from her mind, so she started to look outside the car, and when she saw outside the car to remove that thought, she saw the sprinting trees, means the trees were moving backward and the children were playing on the playground. So by seeing that, again the poet is giving a contrast, meaning that once upon a time even her mother was a child, young, beautiful, but now the time has come, she is looking pale and her face is getting wrinkled. And even sprinting tree is says that her mother's young age, childhood age, passed away as the trees were sprinting in the same way, even her mother's age sprinted away. Okay, so that's all about the poem. Thank you. See you in the next class.